Hello and welcome to the Blue Shadow Podcast. My name is Joey,
I am Dan.
and today we are excited to bring you episode 4 of our series, Blind Ranking Star Wars Characters. This is our series where Dan and I each, with no guidance to one another, pick 10 random or grouped, a trend that Dan started, Star Wars characters that we will read off to one another. And again, we kind of can play with one another in terms of the order where Dan doesn't know. When I read it to Dan, he doesn't know who's coming next. So he has to try and place it on a scale of 1 to 10 where he thinks it might end up. And then we kind of do a cleaning up of that after we finish. You excited for today, Dan?
I am.
All right. Well, if you're so excited, you can read to me first.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, I deviated from the plot just a little bit,
Oh, no.
and you're going to hear how.
Oh,
So,
dear.
Joey just mentioned that it's normally blind ranking characters. I thought for the first episode of 2025, let's go a little bit bigger. I'm going to give you 10 of the more iconic songs and scores from the Star Wars
Oh,
series. Goes across the movies, shows,
getting
and you're gonna
creative, I see. I love it.
you're gonna blind rank them. And I intentionally did not tip my hand because I wanted to keep this a little different.
You embargoed yourself.
I did. I did. That's okay. So this, fair warning, will not be very fair.
Oh,
You'll see
gosh.
why. Um, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Your first song is from a movie, and it is "Across the Stars."
Mm, that's a good one. Three.
Wow, right off the bat, "Across
I'm
the
I'm changing it
Stars"
down.
at
I'm changing it. I'm
three.
rating it a four. I'm rating it a four. I changed my mind.
Well,
I
it's
thought
a
of about
weak,
seven
but
other ones that should be above it, but that is a very
yeah,
iconic one.
it is very iconic. So we're gonna, you know, we're gonna take a step back from the movie genre for a second.
Okay.
I want to know your ranking of the Mandalorian title theme.
Oh, okay. I really like it, but in the context of everything Star Wars, I feel like I have to give it like seven.
Interesting. Okay, okay. So just to recap, you have the Mandalorian theme at number seven and Across the Stars at three.
Yes,
We good
sir.
with those?
Yep.
Cool, cool. Hmm. I'm gonna throw in one of my more recent likes. Burying the Dead from Clone Wars Season 7.
Oh my God, that is very specific.
Do you know the scene I'm talking
I do.
about?
It's at the very end, right?
When they're, yeah, with
Heads
Ahsoka?
on sticks. Oh, see, I know it. I like it, but it's not as high. I'm gonna put it at nine.
Oh,
Again, I like it, but it's not something that sticks out to me personally.
okay, okay.
But again, very strong. I really like it.
Yes, and I did get very hyper specific there. So
And that's okay.
I'm gonna go a little bit broader now. Cantina song.
Oh, I'm gonna give it five
Oh, okay, okay.
because it for me, I feel like it's really good, and it's one of the first songs you think of when you think of Star Wars. But it doesn't really make you feel like emotion like some of the more serious songs do. But
I don't know.
points
Uh,
because it's an in-universe song that is also part of the score.
I've also heard that song played at various establishments, and it is quite entertaining.
It is entertaining. You know what
Yes.
genre that song is, Dan?
I think it's PG rated show.
We won't say. We won't say. Look it up if you're
So
unfamiliar.
just again, give another recap. We have Burying the Dead from the Clone Wars at nine, the Mandalorian theme from Mandalorian at seven, the Cantina song at five, and Across the Stars at 4. So you have 10, 8, 6, 3, 2, 1. It's a nice little spread.
You're scaring me here.
Don't be scared. They're all songs you know.
That's part of what's scaring me.
Okay. Okay. How are we feeling about Ray's theme?
Is that my next one?
That is your next one.
Number one, number one, number one. You knew it was coming. I'm shocked you gave it to me this early. I
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
it's trying to be nice.
I
You complained
appreciate
that I was
that.
a little much sometimes.
You
So,
softened up last time. This it was the second one where you like went for my throat. But the Ray's theme is such what an important Star Wars song for me. Like Dan and I have talked about previously that we got to see John Williams in concert and it was awesome and he played Ray's theme and he talked about how much he loves that particular song and I did tear up a little bit. Ray is my
yeah.
favorite Star Wars character if you're not familiar with us, which I recognize might make some people confused, but I think she's such a wonderful character and that connection to her introduction, which is such a really cool and unique scene in Star Wars, particularly in The Force Awakens, this her introduction to the way that they kind of like turned it into like a hero's theme by the time we get to Rise of Skywalker was so good.
Yeah. No, it's a great song.
Sorry,
But
you were probably like, I'm gonna sit on my phone while he talks about Ray's theme for 10 minutes.
I am gonna make you regret that though. So you have 8, 6, 3, and 2 left.
Yes.
Okay. We have some heavy hitters that I have not brought up yet.
Okay.
Staying in the sequel trilogy, Kylo Ren's theme.
Mm. Number six.
Wow. That is
I want
incredibly low.
I want to put it higher. Again, very similar thing with the like the way that the theme evolved with the character. I thought that was very,
Mhm.
very good. And they don't always do stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that. And I also I think the first time I left The Force Awakens, I was like, oh, none of the music really stood out to me like Duel of the Fates or anything. But as you spend more time with it, moving through the trilogy, playing Battlefront 2, which we both did aggressively, you get like really attached to it. And when you hear it now, it's just as iconic as, some of the other Star Wars music.
Speaking from personal experience, I hear it a lot more often than you do. Um, if you've been listening to us, you know that I'm a bigger sports fan than Joey is. And a lot of college marching bands use Kylo Ren's theme.
That's awesome.
Oh no, it's so sweet, especially when
It's a
they're on
good one.
defense. It is, and it's like okay, that's pretty cool.
It is.
But moving on, speaking of a song you just brought up, Duel of the Fates.
Mm, I got to give it number two. I know that I might be kicking myself for it, but it's so good. And I recognize that most other people would put this at number one or two, but I feel like Duel of the Fates has to be up there.
Okay, so you have 2 left.
I'm going to
So to
regret this so bad.
actually, no, you have 3 left. Excuse me, I forgot. So you have Burying the Dead at 9, the Mandalorian theme at 8, Kylo Ren's theme at 6, at Mandalorian at 7, pardon me. Kylo Ren's theme at 6, the Cantina Band at 5, Across the Stars at 4, Duel of the Fates at 2, and Ray's theme at 1. We good?
For now.
Okay. So you have 10, 8, and 3 left.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with probably the most iconic song from Star Wars, the Imperial March.
I feel like I have to give it three, but I know as soon as I put that, you're gonna say something else that makes me change my mind. But number three, I'll put the Imperial March. Another
Probably the
one
most
that
iconic song.
I would say, another one that when we saw John Williams, it was like, whoa, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have 2 more. You have 10 and 8, and hate to
This is
do
gonna
this to you.
suck. I know what you're gonna
It is
say.
you go ahead,
You're gonna
guess.
say the main theme.
I was gonna say the main
Are you
theme.
serious?
Yeah, that's one of the 2 I have left.
I'm gonna make it number eight, but it hurts my soul. Okay.
Oh, this is brutal.
What else is
So
left?
to recap, I'm gonna work backwards for a change. At 1, you have Ray's theme. 2, you have Duel of the Fates. 3, you have the Imperial March. 4 is Across the Stars. 5 is the Cantina Band. Excuse me. 6 is Kylo Ren. 7 is the Mandalorian theme. 8 is the main theme. 9 is Burying the Dead. And do you want to guess what 10 is, or do you just want me to rip off the band-aid?
Rip off the band-aid for me.
Battle of the Heroes.
Oh, so I'm gonna put it at 10 because I don't have a choice. I have to say, I don't think that this is as bad as it could have been.
No.
So I I'm gonna make some changes, but again, it's not gonna be as much for me. Ray's theme is number one for sure. Two, we're gonna keep Duel of the Fates. Three is still gonna be Imperial March. Yeah. Four is gonna be main theme.
Okay. Okay.
Five is gonna be Battle of the Heroes. Six is gonna be Kylo Ren's theme, which I am switching now to be above number seven, the Cantina Band song.
Okay.
Then that leaves me with eight, nine, and 10, where I will put what is left. Across the Stars kind of falls from. This is
You've
hard.
you've Across the Stars, The Mandalorian, and Burying the Dead.
Okay, Across the Stars at eight, and I'm happy with that.
Okay. Okay.
Mandalorian at nine, and Burying the Dead at 10. I feel bad because I like the Burying the Dead call out, but it's punching above its weight
It
class. I feel
doesn't
like
hold
with
it.
this list.
Doesn't hold it. It is. It is.
I'm shocked
I
you
did
didn't
pull
pull
the
some Rebels
heavyweights.
stuff to mess with me.
No.
That Kanan's death
I,
song.
no. Don't want to make you feel bad when you had to put it at like 8.
I would have had to put it. Yeah, then I would have just been sad and feel bad about myself. That was
Yeah.
very clever. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Starting the new year off strong.
Anything jump out at you, or anything that particularly didn't surprise you?
Ray's theme at 1 might be a hot take, and I didn't necessarily think you were gonna do it.
I
Um,
had to.
I
It for me
you
is
put
just so good.
sentimental value above arguably objectively better songs, and that's okay.
I think for me it's like trying. It's like simultaneously like allowing myself to be biased towards that song while also detaching
Hmm.
myself from these songs that I've had in my head since I was like first able to form memories. It's
Yeah,
hard. So
it is
I
hard.
I feel like Ray's introduction is something that while the sequels are very controversial for a number of reasons that I don't think they necessarily should be, but they are. I think that's something that people generally seem to really enjoy is the
Hmm.
theme, the introduction, that kind of stuff.
Were there any songs that I did not give you that you thought should have been there?
You hit everything that I thought you were going to, with the exception of like the Ewok celebration song.
Yeah.
I thought your Return of the Jedi might come at me.
Well, so I was going to do a Return of the Jedi, but it was not going to be
Was it going
Ewoks.
to be the Palpatine song?
No,
Which one?
it was going to be
Oh
from Jabba's
God,
palace.
no.
I
Jedi
didn't.
Rock?
I yeah,
Oh
thought better
dear.
of it.
No, thank you for not doing that. That would have been a spicy take to have it like the second to last one you read to me or something.
Yeah.
I feel like thus far I've not been burnt by like leaving the lower end, so
No,
I'm just waiting for that to happen. Are you ready, sir?
as ready as I'll be.
So much like Dan, I also have a theme that I will not reveal to you, but will become evident very, very clearly. Number 10, the first name I'm going to read to you is Pocket, the bounty hunter from one of the most recent episodes of Skeleton Crew.
Ooh, she was interesting.
She was interesting.
I
Cool
I just
design.
gonna have to go at 10 purely because I don't know enough about the character.
I think that's very fair, other than the fact that she's a little slimy.
But is she slimy though? She didn't do anything that we didn't expect her to do.
It's true. It's very true. And we are currently recording this in between the time that episode 7 and 8 of Skeleton Crew are released. So keep that in mind with what we're. I don't know that we're going to see Pocket again, but at least in this series. But so at number 10, you have Pocket. At number 9, I'm going to say Kh'ymm from Skeleton Crew, the little owl lady.
Oh, she was fun. I wish we saw more of her. She's going at 6.
I think that's fair.
Purely because there's could be people that are worse, but again,
She
one of those we didn't get enough time with her, in my opinion.
I would love to see more interaction with her and the kids. I don't know that it's necessarily going to happen with this one episode we have left, but I really liked the way that she particularly connected with KB. Did you know that she was voiced by Alia Shawkat, maybe from Arrested Development?
I did not.
I know, isn't that's a crazy one? I gasped when heard, I forget, some review. I was like, oh, that's maybe. Um, that brings us to our next character, which is Hana, the warrior child from at Akron, Ohio.
Hmm. I'll go 5, right in the middle.
Oh, that is Hana at number 5, reminding you that we have Hana at 5, Kim at 6, Pocket at 10. That brings us to our next character, and fully tipping the hand at our theme here, which is very timely, is Neel, everyone's favorite
Oh,
blue
2.
alien. That's not necessarily true.
2. Neil's fun.
I can't wait to see who's number 1 because I love Neel.
Yeah.
Dan knows, and if you've listened to us at all, I'm a sucker for like the cute, funny Star Wars character, and they don't always often have as much substance as Neel does. So I love Neel.
I
Um,
do too.
so that brings us to the sixth character I'm going to read to you, Whim.
10. Oh, 9.
Wow, even after the recent character development,
Yeah. I
holy moly!
I equate Wim to Carl from The Walking Dead.
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar, but I imagine that's not a very good thing.
It's depends on who you ask.
And I will say we're recording this before we record our full discussion about episode 7 of Skeleton Crew and recapping episodes 5 and 6. So I'm look forward to hearing that from you, Dan. And this will have released after that, so feel free to go back and listen to that if you're interested. Um, just to recap again, Dan has Neel at 2, Hana at 5, Kim at 6, Wim at 9, and Pocket at 10. Crazy, man. Number 5, we have Fern.
Mm,
Mhm.
3.
That seems appropriate. Much like for me, like I like the direction that character is headed.
Yeah.
All right,
I
go ahead. Sorry,
can't speak higher of most of the kids.
most of the kids except for Wim. Seriously, tune into our episode 7 skeleton review to see why Dan hates Wim so much. Number 4, the next character is KB.
4.
4. All right. So we have 3 spaces left, 3 characters. The next one is Jod.
Oh, that's tough. So I have
You have one
1.
left, 7 and 8.
Yeah, I kind of backed myself into a corner, putting Hana higher than I should have. But that's okay. I'll put Jot at 7.
I think that's a fair place to put him. All right. I think I know the way that this is going to go. Uh, at number 2, or the next name I'm going to read to you, second to last name I'm going to read to you, with you having 1 and 8 left, we have SM33.
Probably 1.
Is that who you were saving it for?
There was a couple. I was trying to take the gamble, assuming he'd come out, but
I was tempted to not do all the main cast to make it a little more exciting, but I think where your placement of Wim keeps it plenty exciting. Um, Finally, one character left with number 8. That's Brutus.
Okay, that's who I thought it was gonna be. That's fine.
I think like I'm good with that.
Yeah,
All right.
no, I'll take
So let's recap your list, and then you can kind of fire any changes you might want to make. We have at number 1 SM33. At number 2 Neel. 3 is Fern. 4 is KB. 5 is Hana. 6 is Kh'ymm. 7 is Jod. 8 is Brutus. 9 is Wim, and 10 is Pocket. And that concludes our skeleton crew round of blind rankings.
wait, it was Skeleton Crew?
I
Oh my goodness.
don't know what might have given that away.
I thought we were, yeah, no. I
You thought it was
went
the
over my head.
Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I'll just dive right into it. I'm happy with my 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
I think I'd move Jod to 4,
Wow.
KB to 5, 6. Mm, okay. 6 would honestly probably be Wham.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Pretty of a visceral reaction, but that's okay.
It was visceral. So just to remind you, you have Hannah, Kim, Brutus, and Pocket left.
Honestly, I think that order is fine.
Okay.
If I put Hana at 7, Kim at 8, Brutus at 9, Pocket at 10. I'm
Ah,
very happy with my list. I think
I
that's
like it. I'm happy that Wim got bumped up a little more. The only thing that for me, like, I don't even think it's a problem, but different for me personally is ranking Jot above KB. But you know, I have a propensity to really like the good guys and not necessarily love villains or morally ambiguous characters as much.
I was gonna say good not liking the good guy. I do believe I got a text saying Jod redemption arc coming.
That was inaccurate, I believe. And he might, maybe, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, any comments on this round of blind rankings?
No, I thought it was very fun.
Always is. I really enjoyed it. Dan hates Wim. Anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, it's a solid way to end it.
That it is. All right. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Please consider giving us a like, review, subscription on YouTube or the podcast platform of your choice. Consider giving us a follow on Twitter at Blue Shadow Pod or on Instagram at Blue Shadow Podcast. And also, if there's a blind ranking, category or something that you'd like to see, please feel free to let us know. We are happy and interested to take requests on this topic, preferably while keeping it secret from the other person. So, with that, we thank you so
Yeah.
much for listening again, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.